Szechuan sauce.
We're talking about.
I'm running after that shot. I'm gonna get it. Come here, you little shotty.
Tom is working himself up into a frenzy. He takes it. He soils it.
And it's good. Woo!
There's no sugar in it, so he can't take it down.
I will massacre you for that.
You know, it's
I
funny.
will massacre you for that.
I think what's funny is
Are you talking to the mic?
Steven asking Daniel's dad. So what's the price down in this bitch?
I want to know. I want
Not
to
at
know.
all what
I want to know how that conversation went.
Also,
I want to know how
who
that
told you
conversation-
that?
So, what's the price?
Oh,
Did I tell you that?
I don't know.
I thought I told you
did.
that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I was
you,
like, wait a second.
well,
I
then
don't
if
think
you
I told
thought you told me that, why would you ask?
Because the way you told the story made it seem like someone else told you. I told you from a good perspective of
Oh my
did something, I guess, a little naive.
I guess,
if I
I
told
guess
you
now.
from the
I guess
first-
now I'll tell the story. Steven asked my dad how much the house cost,
Not exactly. All I asked was
but kind of like
I
that.
asked what the bid was. That's all.
Hey,
Oh, the bid, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Daddy Warbucks, Roger over here. How much this house costs?
Well,
Hey, Mr.
I don't
Ogren,
know.
think I
I'm
can
just-
get one of these too, huh?
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, you just
I
giving
guess-
out house.
I guess-
Starving artist. I'm a starving artist. Can you support me?
Have you seen my YouTube channel?
I make videos of you, your son, and all of our friends.
By the way,
talking shit.
our house will be a hype house. It will be a TikTok hype house.
uh-oh.
Hey, yours is backwards, I think. Your mic.
It's kind of.
How did it get backwards from before?
fine, right?
That's kind of bad.
Make sure the
Nose.
label.
Uh-oh. Stinky.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
It's facing me.
We're missing Hunter James this night, which is fine. I guess we'll.
What is he doing?
We'll
It's his birthday tomorrow.
We'll subtract the kindergarten.
Wait, no,
element
it's
of
Monday.
This podcast out, I suppose.
Well, no, it's Saturday.
I mean,
Today?
Hunter's
Yeah.
in kindergarten,
I thought his birthday's the 5th.
When Hunter's here, he talks about kindergarten
That's how you
shit,
said what's
and it's
today.
just
I was
like,
that's
which is also
Saturday,
one of
man.
my favorite
It's not
things.
Monday.
But I was talking to Danielle. I was saying, if you ever want to get if you want to
Fucked up.
if you ever want to get along with Hunter, ask him how his pee-pee and poo-poo are doing.
Yeah.
And then also,
like if you.
how's his left foot doing? How about the left toe?
Talking
and
like
Thomas never
Yeah.
does.
Just talk about
I
his.
was literally rubbing my lips up.
Yeah.
against-
Yeah, well,
How about that? Is that better?
we gave you the Birkin mic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I can hear that loud and clear.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's good.
I was in. I played a hockey game tonight, and there was a joke going around that like some guy made the offhand joke like, oh, like I have this like big tall can of beer, like Thomas, drink it, and I brought our humor into it when I went, oh no, and they were not ready for it.
Oh, my
Not
God.
They were like, wow, you seem like really like well versed in that. Like, do you have something you need to tell us? And I was like,
Yeah,
that's just what happens in my household.
Dude, I hate when you pull one of those and people are Johan. I hate when you pull something like that and people are just
You pull a
like,
loony joke that's a little
Yeah.
bit too
Hey,
much.
Kyle.
yeah, and people are like, whoa.
Kyle, listen, I'm cool with it. Some of the people that live here, they're not into that. Sorry, man.
Yeah. So funny.
What is happening?
Remember a long fucking time ago at the old house I used to live at,
Oh, my
where
God.
Kyle's vaping and that guy Owen comes over and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm cool, but
Oh,
some of the
my
people
God.
here."
It was really just such an awkward moment.
Yeah,
like,
that was.
it
And
so
Kyle's
awkward.
like, but he goes, "Hey, I'm Owen. Nice to meet you. I'm Kyle. Yeah, hey Kyle, listen."
Dude,
Yeah.
that
Meeting someone
living.
for the very first second and then telling them what to do is not
Well,
a good way.
okay,
Of,
to be fair, I mean, like, if that's the issue, it's like...
it's vaping. You're
Yeah,
a fucking pussy.
I know, I know, but it's like, hey, you do live here, and it's like, if you want me to stop, I mean, I guess I gotta stop.
It was his house?
No,
or-
it wasn't.
It was
Well, he
his
lives
mom's
there.
house?
No, not even.
I-
It was
Your
someone
mom's
else's mom's house.
It was someone else's mom's
Yeah, but he acted like the big bad boy. Like every time I came up at 1 a.m. to go get water, he would come down with a baseball bat and being like, "Oh, I thought someone broke in. I was ready to defend the house."
Holy fuck, dude, that's
Yeah.
awful.
I would make like a tiny
Awful.
noise, like a mouse, and he was sleeping above the kitchen. He'd come down with a bat and be like, "Hey, maybe you should be more quiet next time."
Dude, that would
Yeah,
piss
what
me
was
the
his name?
fuck
Owen?
off. If
He
you
seemed
or
like he had
Gabe
fucking
ever did that
problems,
to
man.
me, I would instantly be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, actually, it's funny because...
Oh my God, are you talking about like?
Oh, I'm talking about, yeah. The big mishap. You guys heard about this,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Tom told me.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I did not hear this story yet.
So
It's funny that it didn't happen to me.
So over the course of maybe 2 months ish, our kitchen faucet has been, the plastic knobs are wearing down because they have like inside they have like little things that come down in
Threads.
threads, and they fit into it, and so over the course of a couple months they've been wearing down, so sometimes they don't catch.
Yeah.
And so they haven't been catching for a couple months. So sometimes you'll just be turning it and it'll just spin and you're not catching anything.
Yeah.
Which is even worse when it's on and now you're trying to turn it off and you can't get it off.
No.
So
Can I pick up from this moment?
No, because there's still more to say. So
more background.
So our cold water knob had been completely disthreaded.
Yeah.
Completely. So now it's just, there's no cold water knob. There's just hot water. And I didn't want to say anything to our landlord because I didn't think like it was that big of a deal. So I thought I could replace the handles and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Sure.
So I went to go replace the handles, and when I went to the plumbing store, they were like, oh, we need a lot more information than this. So, I mean, come to find, the handles come with the whole valve.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like it's not enough to just have handles. So anyway,
Tom, chill out, Tom.
Tom really wants to tell
I know.
his side.
No. Okay, I'm getting
I'm
to
just
it.
like,
I'm getting
Kyle's
to
good with the nuance.
so
You're good with the
specific.
direction.
No,
It's
it's
like-
not. Let me finish.
No, it's fine.
Let
It's fine.
me finish.
Yeah.
So because I found this out, I called my landlord that day and was like, hey, I can't fix the sink. That was Friday. That I called him and said, hey, the sink's not working. This is what's going on with it. I tried to like replace it, but it's not happening. Can you come fix it? He said, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. So I said, great. So that's happening tomorrow. So Friday night, this is happening Friday night. My landlord's coming. He said, I'll be there first thing 9 a.m. Saturday morning.
Saturday
to fix it.
morning.
So this is Friday night, 3 a.m. Thomas, go ahead. In fact, take it before 3 a.m. Take it to when it started
It
for
was
you.
1998. Thomas
Take
was
it-
born
okay.
in St. Jude's.
Take it to when
Take it to
McCarthy
where it's-
accused your parents
because
of being red
I
communists.
have my side of the story, but I don't know what happened for like I don't even know how long before I woke up and started
It was
seeing
about-
the insanity.
It was such a stupid
And this
thing.
is this last weekend?
Around
No, this was at least a
Oh, you
month
said
ago,
okay,
almost.
right.
that night, I had made chicken curry. I had made chicken curry, and chicken curry always makes such a fucking mess. It stains everywhere, so it takes like a long time to clean up. I finished around 2 a.m. After that, I started goofing around, watching TV, whatever. I came back in the kitchen right before I was going to bed.
Yeah, one thing that I also was like, hey Tom, can you make sure you clean the
That's true.
dishes? I was like, can you make sure you clean the dishes? Because I washed all the dishes, and,
Yeah.
and then
Then
after
you
I
went to
washed all the
bed.
dishes, Tom just made dinner, and I was like, hey, just make sure you wash those dishes because the landlord's coming tomorrow to fix the sink, and we should have a
Yeah.
clear sink for him to work on.
Right.
You know,
So I got back like late at the night, so I made dinner around like 1 a.m. I ate it, crushed it, and then cleaned up after
Annihilated
myself.
that curry.
Give me the curry.
what do you? No, you made the dinner at like 10. Yeah, you made. I commented. You made the dishes, and I was like, "Hey, just make sure you wash it."
Yeah, if
before-
you made it
okay,
at 3,
well, then it
then
was
Kyle
bad.
was not awake.
which is
You made the dinner on
fine.
Friday and you cleaned it up Saturday.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
true.
he decided to do the dishes in the middle of the night, which is fine.
Yeah, right
a little
before bed.
unorthodox,
Well,
but fine.
that's when Tom is at his fullest.
That's not true, but
That's when Tom is
Yes, it
fully.
is.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
is
absolutely
true.
is.
that's not what I'm at my
Thomas
fullest.
is
It's when I
most-
go to bed. I mean,
Thomas
come
is
on.
most awake
Okay.
at that time.
No.
You're at your
1
fullest when
a.m.
people are going to
Tom.
bed.
1
You're
a.m.
ready for bed when people are asleep.
Sure, whatever. I'm not even gonna fight this. I'm outnumbered. It's fine. But anyway, right before I was going to bed, it was at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Basically, I went into the kitchen to get a drink of water to take my ADD pill, and I noticed that I forgot to clean like one pot. It had rice in it. It was an easy clean, no problem.
Yeah.
The sink. Like Kyle fixed it. We couldn't use the hot water, but he fixed it. We could use the cold.
I didn't fix it.
He didn't fix it, but
Yeah.
it worked better than the hot. So I turned on the cold
jimmied
water. I cleaned the pot, done deal. I tried to turn off the cold water, and there's no like actual handle around it. It's just like the bare
Metal.
necessities, like the bare metal.
Yeah.
Necessities.
Yeah.
Should have put a fucking wrench on that, man.
And so
Like Mad Max.
what happened was just like I tried to
Yeah,
tighten it.
clamp a little wrench around it. And
I
just, like, use
tightened
that.
it.
That's what it was.
I tightened
Oh,
it.
okay.
And it got tight, but it kept dripping like really fast. I was like, I gotta tighten it some more so that like it stops, because it's like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have a drippy sink. Tighten it again and again, and I was pretty tired, pretty stupid. I basically unscrewed it.
He was
Basically.
trying to turn it off
Yeah.
and was like full blast, so he got confused about which way was off, so he was turning it on more and more and more until he completely unscrewed it, the valve, so it's shooting water out of the
Yeah.
handle.
man.
The metal part shooted off into like the floor or something.
And for our listeners who are unaware of how a sink works, if the valve is
yes.
disconnected, there's just
Listener.
an open water channel that
You
has
can't put it back
nowhere
on.
to
There's no
stop.
way.
It's
Yeah.
just continuous water pressure. And our water pressure in our building is insane.
Yeah.
So this thing is blasting.
It's blasting to the ceiling. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I gotta stop this. I gotta stop this. I can't. I'm putting my hand over it so it stops spraying all over my face. I take my clothes off, like the top part,
Yeah,
like the hoodie and the shirt or whatever. Water spraying all over me, and I'm like, shit. And I just start yelling out for some help. I don't think anybody hears it. I'm like, hey, yo, like I need some help in here. Like kind of like
Fuck, man.
literally, because I'm
4
trying not to
it's
sound like a
4 a.m.
bitch. I'm like, how do I say I need help without
I love
sounding
that
like
it's
an
4
asshole?
a.m. too.
I'm like, it's
You're
4 a.m. I'm like, hey, I need some like help in here, like right now. And it's spraying all over me.
So commanding.
And I'm like, you know what? It's already sprayed over the ceiling. I'm just gonna let it spray. I run to Gabe's room. I'm like, "Duh." Like, Gabe, wake up. We got an emergency. And I run back over. I cover like the water with my hand so it stops spraying all over it. I'm soaking wet. Gabe comes out just like, shit, man, like rubbing his arms
yeah, which
and just like.
normally is funny, but in this case,
is he, a
it's
meth
like
head?
4 a.m. That
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Yo, dude, that's what you're like when you get waking up at 4
Yeah.
a.m.
Fair
You're like
enough.
a meth head.
Yeah.
He's like, he just comes walking over. I'm like, man, dude, like this shit's fucked up. Like I really fucked up
And you
here.
know, it was 3 a.m. And the only reason I make that distinction is because, no, it was 3.
It was
because
daylight savings, you see.
3 is in the heat of slumber. 3 a.m.
Yeah,
is
it's right
dead
in the middle of
middle of the
REM
night.
sleep.
REM has taken over. You're asleep at 3 a.m.
You're getting your most healthy cycle
yes,
going.
that is the
at that
hell.
point.
Yes, you're dead asleep. Okay.
Okay, and Gabe comes like kind of like leaning over back and forth, like rubbing his arms with his shirt on, like, oh shit, man, like what's going on? He doesn't even ask that. I'm like, water spraying into my hand, in my face, just like I'm like, dude, I fucked up here. Like we have to find like the emergency
Thomas,
shut off, like
what did you
right
do,
now.
man?
Doesn't say anything. He's like, oh man, I guess we gotta turn off the water, man. And he goes to turn off the cold water that's spraying into my hand. There's no fucking thing to turn. So I lift my hand and he just like looks at it. He's like, oh, and he just kind of backs up. He's like, oh shit, oh shit. Like, is Kyle here? And I'm like, I think he's sleeping. Like, yeah, he's like sleeping in his room. He's like, oh. And he starts looking under the sink. He's like, I don't see anything. So like he goes, gets Kyle, and Kyle just like is like, he's not really mad. He's just like confused. He's like, I don't know what's happening here. And he's looking at it. He brings
Getting out
out
my REM cycle.
He's like, he brings out his tools. He's trying to tighten these. He's like,
REM
I
cycle,
can't
Kyle.
tighten this or fix it. Like, I don't know what's happening. So he takes out his towel, he puts it over it, and long story short, Gabe finds the emergency shut off in the basement.
This is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
issue.
In the basement.
We okay,
Well, that's
so
where it
there's
should
no
be.
shut off under the sink, which is a little odd. But so we go downstairs. Gabe goes down with me to like find like the shut off
Yeah.
for the kitchen sink. Underneath, there's like 1,000 knobs. Like turn a few of them off. I'm like, I don't know what I'm turning off. Like this is a problem. We're looking. Gabe like just walks over to the corner, like away from all the other stuff, and like shuts it off. And
It's like behind a drum
yeah, he
set
like knew where it
and,
was.
a
It was like
t-shirt.
it was kind of like in this obscure place, and he like shuts it off. And I'm
Shit,
like, oh
man.
shit! And he's like, yeah, that's. I think that's the emergency shut off for the whole house. And I'm like, oh shit! I was like, because Gabe recently just got this job of like,
Yeah, working on this shit.
well, yeah, he goes to houses. They build houses, and then he goes and looks at the houses and just kind of does like general like lookovers.
So he
and
kind of knows what
repairs.
that shit looks
Yeah,
like.
so he kind of. So I'm like, damn. In my head, I'm like, damn, dude, Gabe, like this job's really paying off. Like that's
Yeah.
fucking cool that you could figure that out. It's
good timing.
Cool. So he shuts it off. which I'm gonna come back to that, but so the water for the entire house, our upstairs neighbors are shut off.
Well,
Like
it's
this is
3
the
a.m.
water. Yeah, but still.
Yes, you're fucking over the other people.
Yes.
That live
So
in
I
your
least for
write
the mornings.
and so we're gonna have to wait till 9 a.m. to get water. So
You can't just turn it back on after you.
what, and blast water in
No,
our
you can't.
kitchen?
You turn it off, right? It stopped. Put it back on. Then turn it off.
Well, we tried
No.
like while it was spraying, I tried to put it back on, but it wouldn't.
No,
like,
after it stopped spraying is what I mean.
We tried to put it back on. It still
Okay.
was blasting.
You didn't say it was
Well-
still blasting.
Yeah, the valve was busted.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
The valve busted at this
So
point.
the water never stopped.
No, we had to shut off the water for the
So
entire house.
shut off the water. Everything is shut off.
So we
then you
can't
try to
shut-
put the thing back on.
Steven, we had to shut the water off. We put the valve back on.
Yeah.
We turn the water on. It's still blasting.
Okay,
the
all right,
valve is
okay.
broken. The valve itself is
okay.
broken.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had to shut the water off. If we cut it back on, there's just gonna be water blasting.
Gotcha.
So
Fuck.
yeah, like when I say the valve's broken, like that's the thing that like covers it.
Gotcha,
So it's like
gotcha.
if that's broken, it's like we're just blasting water. So it's like the whole shit. We got fucked up.
Yeah,
thing.
and I just feel like such an asshole for waking up people at 3
So
a.m.
it gets
or
worse.
whatever.
So I write a note
gets
and
worse.
put it. I write a note and put it on like my neighbor's doors upstairs, and I'm like, "Hey, had to shut the water off. Our sink broke. I wrote my number down, and I was like, call me if you have any questions. Like, so sorry." And I get a call. I'm again re-entering into my REM cycle.
Jesus.
I get a call at 5 a.m.
They actually call you at 5?
5 a.m. being like, "Hey man, like you got to go to work.
Fucking
Like
Andrew.
where's the water, man?" I'm like explaining the situation. He's like, "There's not a thing under your water." I'm like, "Well, man, I looked for a while because I feel like a jerk."
Yeah.
I'm like, "We looked for a while. There's no knob underneath the thing." He's like, "Yes or no? Is there a thing to shut off just your kitchen
Damn,
sink?"
dude.
I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, why wouldn't you just say it?" He's like pissed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like kind of pissed. I'm like, "Dude, like if you want to come look, clearly I'm doing everything I can to fix it." And it's like
Yeah.
I had to shut the water off. Like clearly that's
Yeah.
what I have to do. That's what I had to do. If you want to try and take a look, like you're welcome to. I offered that to him. And he just, so it's like, okay, like
Damn,
no
I
water,
di-
no shower.
I didn't know Andrew came at you like that. That's
Yeah, he was
that's
like
fucking
pissed, and I was like, and he was like, because I heard his girlfriend in the background, like, "I gotta take a fucking shower."
annoying. Yeah,
for
yeah,
work."
of course.
How
his
essential
girlfriend.
is water to
He's
everyone's
got to put
morning
on a
routine?
little, like,
Well, I
show.
mean,
No,
some
no,
people,
I'm curious what you guys. If you had a morning without water,
we're
if you,
fine.
you would be
She's
okay.
a waitress.
I'd be fine.
Yeah.
So she's got to be at work at 5 a.m. apparently.
She's
Well, she's
an
already late by
executive
that time.
for the top.
Yeah, a waitress. Oh, she
Well,
was a
okay, you
waitress?
gotta be decent, I guess, for
Whoa.
customer service. But I mean, it makes sense, and it's like,
No,
hey,
I-
I'm putting you out.
The
you
only
know,
thing
so.
I would be annoyed at is like, oh, I can't
I've
brush
had
my
a
teeth.
lot of
That's it.
non-decent
So
waiters.
anyway,
Yeah.
that all happens.
More than enough in my
They
lifetime.
some of the neighbors called my landlord apparently, like saying shit. So he comes at 9 a.m. and he's kind of pissed. He's like, "You shouldn't have been messing with it." Like he's pissed. He's
What, like turning it?
well, yeah. He's like, you should, this is what. Well, because I called him and said I tried to replace the knobs.
Oh man, that's not your fault in the least. I mean,
No, well,
it's my
I
fault,
told
but
him.
like still.
So he's like, "This is why you shouldn't be messing with stuff." So he came, looked at it, messed with it a little bit, saw what the problem was. I explained to him what happened, and then after I kind of explained, he looked at it. He was like, "Hey, like it's not your fault. Like I would have done the same thing in your position. Like you didn't do anything wrong." So that was cool.
That was nice.
He went to the
Yeah, that's
plumbing
nice.
store, fixed it. Everything was great. And then Gabe's like walks in. He's like, "Oh, cool, it's fixed." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I remember last time we had that little like water leak with the washer machine because we had like a water leak with the wash machine like a few months prior."
I
He's like, "I
remember
remember." No, you remember like the water was shooting out of the washing machine back or
Dude,
something.
I don't think I was there.
Okay,
I
well
must've been
that
asleep.
happened, and it wasn't that bad. It was just like a little leak happening in the basement, which the basement is not as much of a
Basement's
deal.
the basement, yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I remember when that happened. Mr. Downing showed me where the water shut off valve was." And I'm
nice.
just thinking, like, so why the fuck did you wake me up and act like you didn't know where it was? We're like looking and turning off
4 a.m.
knobs, and then all of a sudden you like go and turn
Yeah,
off the water
yeah.
knobs. It's like,
He was asking you to look for the sink shut off
yeah,
valve.
and it's just like,
But
bro,
he knew where the master valve
yeah,
was.
and it's like, so why didn't you do that from the get go? And like, it's just kind of things.
I
that's
mean,
like,
I can understand his
Yeah.
situation as well. He probably wasn't. He's
Panicking.
just awake.
Yeah, but still, it's like.
Well, here's the.
He was rem cycle Gabe.
Yeah, rem cycle.
Again,
And so you're rem
that
cycle
confused
Kyle.
me. Just like, okay, I thought you were like just a smart guy that knew where to look because of your job, but like you knew where this thing was the whole time. So, and I even told him, I was like, man, that job's. I gave him some praise, and it like wasn't until the next day.
He took it
everything
too.
blew
He was
over.
like, yeah.
Yeah, he took it. He definitely took it. It's
Of
just
course
like
he took it.
I would
you
have.
know. And then he told me that in my head. I'm just thinking like, okay.
So here's the follow-up
you
question.
knew.
Obviously, the place is a mess. It's covered in water. Do you and Gabe go back to sleep and you're like, Thomas, clean this shit up after you
Yeah.
turn it
I
off?
mean, they don't say that. They just, I mean, it's a common understanding. Like, I created
Yeah.
the
Okay,
mess.
okay.
I'll clean
It's
it
his
up.
fuck.
Yeah, I
up.
mean,
He's gotta-
and we helped, and like, you know, I gave Thomas
Yeah.
a towel, and I was just like,
I washed it,
and it was
yeah.
just kind of like, yeah, Gabe and I were just like, yeah, I'm going to sleep, like,
Yeah, of course.
clean it up.
I was
Sorry.
still up. Like, I never went to sleep,
Yeah.
so I have to clean
Did you
it up.
stay up the
It
whole
was
night?
it was a very like
How late did you stay up? Like, how long did you have to clean?
it wasn't a
Not
lot.
long. I mean,
okay.
it's just some water. I mean, you just wipe
Yeah,
it up.
and
with
it's,
I mean, I'm thinking, like,
as soon
fire
as I
hydrant
showed up,
level.
I took my towel from the bathroom
fire
and just like
hydrant.
covered the whole sink with it, so that like kind of contained it a little.
that
bit.
did contain it, yeah.
So like it wasn't a terrible mess.
One of my favorite things is we're panicking. You know, I bang on Gabe's door. I'm like, hey man, like I actually like need some help. Like I've been shouting. Like I don't know what to do. Like I don't see an emergency shut off under the sink, so I don't know where else to look.
That's my
Was that the
thing.
first time you ever
It's
felt like
he
you
knew
were in
where
a
it
true
was.
panic attack?
No, but like it's just
It was
like
just like, hey, something's gonna happen.
Gotcha.
like something's wrong, but you got to
Yeah,
deal with it.
yeah.
And I have to alert everybody so we can deal with it quickly. But one of my favorite things throughout the entire process, which might have lasted 30 minutes to 45 minutes, Lacey not once comes out to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Not once.
Not even out of any curiosity.
Not even out of curiosity, just I guess stays in bed. I know she was there.
That's crazy.
Well, she might have just not waken up. Like, she might have just gone back to sleep.
Lacey's awful. You don't understand.
On that note, I'm gonna take a piss. Where's your bathroom? I don't know. Is it that one?
That's the laundry.
it's one of
It
the
looks
only
like a-
doors.
It's
It's one
the
of the only
same.
doors in
Yeah,
this place.
It's like an outdoor situation. Just piss.
Nope,
Oh,
absolutely
he
not.
committed to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost did.
Like dick out and all.
Scary.
Very,
nice one.
very scary. So, I'm imagining like it shooting up into the
Yeah,
hitting the
it was
ceiling.
shooting up and shooting down, and our, like I said, our water pressure is really powerful. So when it's shooting down, it hits the sink, and it's just like.
It was shooting under,
And then it's
like,
also-
into the sink as well. That's
It was
fucked.
shooting into the sink and shooting out of the sink. So
Holy
it's like both
shit.
of these It was a lot of water. And
Oh,
like I
so-
said, our water pressure is real. It's probably the best thing about our apartment is our water pressure.
So- I
our
see.
shower is off the chain.
So when you guys had the towel over it, the water that was getting into the towel was collecting into that massive sink anyways. So
Yeah.
it wasn't going on the floor.
Yeah, but that wasn't until I got there.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay, so I think Thomas would agree with this. I think Gabe would agree with this too. I'm the captain of the house. I'm like,
Thomas laughs from the bathroom.
I think that there's a comment. Like I talked to the landlord.
You handled the utilities.
You're the
If there's an issue, it's always kind of
like.
like, let's get Kyle. I mean, I'm just saying. I definitely kind of assume
Well, you're
that.
Debbie's son. Well, you're Debbie's son.
Yeah, I'm assuming that responsibility.
Listen. That's fair, but for you to say I'm the captain now is
Look at me. I am the captain.
I know.
now.
Listen, okay. I
There's
only
so-
say that
there's so
because
much
someone
water in
has
your
said that to me
apartment that there's
before,
like a
where
ship.
I was explaining something, like how I have been talking to the landlord,
Kyle's like,
and someone
"I need this
at
little
my
ship."
work was just like, "Yeah, well, every house needs a captain. Like every like house full of roommates needs a captain." It's like, I'm like,
and he's
"Yeah,
never
you're right."
forgot that.
like,
And
I'm
he's
the guy.
always referred to himself in his head as
Because
the captain.
I talked to the landlord. I
Listen,
deal.
I didn't wake you up. I
That's
just
true.
got Gabe because I thought he
That's
might
true.
know where the emergency
Okay,
shut-off is.
and he did, but he still needed. I guess he's the first mate.
Yeah.
I
imagine
and the first
you guys-
mate's gotta
Yeah,
alert
And
the
I
captain.
guess
I would've-
I'm swabbing the poop
Yeah.
deck. I guess.
I'm imagining a
Tom
scenario.
is a cannonball that you guys keep under the
All
deck.
right. I mean,
I imagine a scenario where.
cannonball. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's good, Kyle. I imagine a scenario where you guys get Kyle up and the water's flooding like Home Alone status, end of the movie, and Kyle's just like, I guess I'm the captain. He just literally imports his own like whole setup, and it's just like
It
role
was. It's
playing.
like okay. I'm like,
Kyle's got
okay,
a little oar, and he's
Yeah.
just like,
He's like, I've been waiting this whole time.
For me, it was okay. Contain the mess. Get the tools. See what the tools can do. Tools.
What?
Tools didn't work. So it's like okay, we need to shut off this
yeah,
this power source.
right. What tools did you use? plumbing tools.
A plunger. He used a
I mean,
plunger.
like a vice grip,
A vice.
like a vice wrench. Or,
Is that? I hope
you
a plunger
know.
doesn't make that noise when you're doing that.
Just trying to like grab, because like the thing was really hard to move, so it's
Yeah.
like let's tighten this valve, but like the
The
valve is
little
busted.
like thing that the handle goes over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it was like the handle comes off, and now there's just like this like stub,
Little
that,
nub
like,
thing,
this
yeah.
nub that goes in.
Now let's go
And
over
you
the
can't
story.
turn it with your fingers or anything.
Yeah, so it's
Let's
like,
go over the
okay,
story
let's-
again, but instead of Thomas doing that, it's Ryan. What would have Ryan done?
Probably just went back to bed.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Like, dude, for real, he might have just been like, "Well, I'm just renting, and this is
Yeah.
my problem, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to bed." And
He's like,
Oh,
I don't have to pay the
Hey-
damages.
yeah, I don't have to pay about. The
he's like, hey Josh, can I move in with you?
He immediately calls someone who's like,
That's so
"Hey, I need a new place."
His landlord calls him 3 weeks later and is like, what the fuck did you do to the apartment?
He's like, "Listen,
well, my brother
you're gonna have to
Josh."
pay for this."
Yeah, he blames it on
He blames it on everyone else in the apartment.
Ryan, aka Judas, for those who don't know.
Yep.
It's Judas.
Iscariot. Sounds like a Nacho Libre character.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not a fan of your bathroom's giant mirror.
I am, dude.
No, I like
Why
that.
do I
You like
want to
it?
watch my penis pee?
I actually like
You
it.
like it? You like
I-
it, boys?
I
I
like
s-
to watch my penis.
You don't
Yes.
like the look of your penis?
Well, the fact that my penis pees in 2 separate directions
Oh my
kind of makes
God.
me like self-conscious.
Oh, that's
I
right. You
guess.
have a mutant like.
That's right.
weird
You have a
penis.
rattlesnake
Yeah.
tongue as
Yeah,
well.
I have a mutant Ninja Turtle penis. That's kind of badass.
Teenage
All right.
Mutant Ninja
I'm not ashamed of my penis.
Teenage Mutant Ninja.
No, it was definitely an
like
adjustment
it.
when I first moved in. I was like, this mirror is fucking crazy. It's huge.
Yeah, it's
Living here with a girlfriend, I mean, there's definitely
Yeah, that's
some
def-
sexy times to be had.
that's a sexy mirror.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a sexy mirror.
Wow.
That's true.
Yes.
And that
Shit, I mean,
that is true.
I jack
Dude,
off in
and
front of that mirror.
It is true, and that is true.
Eye
would-
eye
it's all
contact.
true.
Yeah.
Are you jerking off eye contact, or are you looking at your pecs or
Yeah.
your ball sack? Well, like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, your pecs and your ball sack. Yeah.
Okay, so I would
Definitely
make eye
yes.
contact
Wait,
personally.
so you're not looking at her at all?
No, he's saying for
We're talking
jerking
about
off.
jerking
masturbate.
off.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were
I
talking
mean,
about-
yeah, I'm looking at her, my imaginary her, if it's just me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
I like to envision myself as Joaquin Phoenix from The Master when he's just like,
No.